Welcome to the realm of Millenia, be man, woman, a child, spirit, creature, or demon, be ye a native migrator, or maybe even some sort of invader into the realm of Millenia. Welcome, for I am your host, the MILLENIANmailmen, and I'll be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate and begin. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and please do enjoy another hot take hump day. Yes, another hot take hump day. This week will be week 34, Devil's Advocate hot take. I am holding it right now because I'm about to be moving a lot. It is a cleaning day, so while I'm going to be doing a lot of this walking and talking thing during today's video. But yes, week 34, Devil's Advocate hot take. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I kind of already did this. I was going to do a week. I already did. Now I'm doing 34 because I haven't done that one. This is the one I should be doing today. Devil's Advocate week 34 hot take. Only male and female differences being and getting respected gets problems solved and better lives for all. I repeat, only male and female differences getting respected gets problems solved and better lives for all. We're talking about this posterior to people, a continued precedence, right? And for this first point here, I have gender roles wasn't. There goes the grammar police. Gender roles. Yep, there we go. Gender roles weren't established by patriarchy, but by the consistency of, oh my dear gosh. Hello. You already back that quack?
Wavering loyalty. However, after encountering Rosen, Tianjing's views began to shift.
2 minutes in and I'm already getting interrupted, dude. They're all supposed to be at the beach right now, man. Oh, man. Week 34, Devil's Advocate. Only male and female differences being and getting respected gets problem solved and better lives for all. Plot point 1. Gender roles weren't established by patriarchy, but by the consistency across all the religious faiths, born from the majority specialties of biological genders in mass. Right? And to break it down for you, there is that thing about the religious faith being similar, which relates back to week 25, Devil's Advocate hot take, that all religions have the same core values for men and expectations of women, right? So this is a tie-in, Devil's Advocate. Yes, it is. If I get interrupted one more time, I'm gonna hide in the bathroom or something. But hey, yes, week 34, Devil's Advocate. I read it twice. I'm going to break it down. There is reference to the week 25 Devil's Advocate hot take about how all the religions are the same, sexistly the same at that. And then there's the second sentence in there saying that it's born, that same sameness is born from the majority specialties and specializations of a biological nature that not even science can contend with, right? Because science is where a lot of the less religious individuals tend to delve into. Like, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in this. All the atheists and different religious believers want to be like, hey, there must be evidence. Okay, science supports evidence and all the same. The majority specializations from the biological genders, be you male, be you female, or be you a non-binary capable identifier. Yes. The different specializations, and some specializations can get labeled as stereotypes, like men are bigger and stronger, despite the fact that there are plenty of men who are smaller and weaker than a number of females. I dare say even the most average of females. There are plenty of shorter men, shorter than a woman's average size, and then plenty of men far weaker than, say, your most average woman. right? But it's typical, excuse you, but it's rather typical for most men to be a majority specialized, to be physically stronger, more physically fit, and bigger than most women, right? That is the typical specialization on a biological level, right? It is a majority specialization of women to have bigger breasts and bigger bums than, say, men generally would. It is of a biological gender generical difference in mass that men have this certain number of specialties and women have whatever that certain number of specialties is, right? The only way we can get past most of these problems and solve them truly is when we start acknowledging and getting the respect for each gender. Right now, there is that big argumentative divot that some people have talked about, the pendulum swinging, where women and the rise of womanism, feminisms, and all those things were so major, it pushed the male aspect into being disrespected, and then women's differences were so respected. Men's differences were getting disrespected. And yeah, it solved a lot of problems, but it didn't solve all of them, and caused more problems when women's respect came at the cost of men getting directly disrespected, right? The only way to solve these problems is by having male and female differences being respected and getting respected, right? Because there are these cases, like I'll say the workplace as an example, where in the workplace it is a typical, stereotypical concept idea that men have more respect in most Fortune 500 workspaces due to the design and the layout. It has been deemed as a patriarchy thing when, again, these gender roles weren't established by patriarchy. It was established by consistency. Men just happened to be better, and men consistently are better in a lot of these roles, unfortunately, right? Respect the differences. Women need to find their niche, find their things, so that they can truly become a pivotal, non-expendable asset in these fields. Like, I do believe HR was like one of those roles that came about after most of these job orientations, that due to a lot of weird things, I'm gonna make that a whole different hot take, but generally I don't think that HR in a lot of businesses is necessarily all that pivotal to the job aspect, right? And a certain level, I do believe that that is probably stereotypically a more feminine position, because it's one of those differences of male and female that women should be respected and given one of those first and foremost opportunities to take up, right? I don't think secretary is one of those things, unless you think the whole sex appeal is a big deal for a secretary position, right? I think that's male, female, neutral. That is more so developed to skills, period, or whatever the CEO you're being a secretary for is needing. Comes on a need by need basis, case by case, need by need basis. I think secretary. I think construction, that is probably like more masculine, because again, bigger, taller, stronger concept. And then the HR, probably one of those outside of the workspace, if we're just talking about the home, I do believe that generically, stereotypically, more women make better house cleaners, better food makers than most men. As far as standards and routine and scheduling, I do think I'd say a majority of men would probably do it better. Would a majority of men be better at following through with said planning and scheduling? That's here nor there, that's here nor there. Right? I do think men could probably make a better schedule than women, but it's more so about the women being better able to hold that accountability and make sure the schedule that was made to be followed because of the general stereotypical impulsiveness of men, especially nowadays, where ADD and ADHD is on the rise. Men would be far worse at following through with schedules, even if they are better at making schedules, right? There is that aspect of male and female differences needing to get respected across the board in order to have any problem solved, right? I think any problem can be solved. Like, pick a problem, right? Pick the most gender neutral problem you can think of. Oh no, the ozone layer is getting eviscerated, global warming. Cool. When men and women can set aside their differences and respect each other for their differences, maybe we'll have enough time and room to figure out what exactly the problem is, break it down to something we could actually solve that thing that we discovered we can do, and then follow on and figure out the next problem we solved. Global warming just got figured out because we weren't spending 75% of our days and another 85% of our life fighting between what's woman and what's a man, and is it possible to not be either of these things without being labeled as trans, drag, or non-binary in between? Can we just recognize there's men, there's women, and there's the non-binaries, and can we just address you are what you are and shut the fuck up if you're not? Like, leave me alone. Is it possible? No. Oh, we have to address it first? Great. Then if we have to address it, how about we just respect it and move on? Now we can't move on? I guess problems will never be solved and nothing will ever be better for everyone. Everything can exclusively get worse because the more time we put into this stupid argument of men versus women, trans versus cis, non-binaries versus binaries, well, as long as we can keep having these dumb self-made arguments, we can never get to the problems that existed prior to these self-made arguments that shouldn't even need to exist. Yep, I'm saying it. I did say it. So long as we keep being forced to address these manufactured arguments of this male versus women, trans versus cis, binary versus non-binary believers, we will never get to the pivotal conversation of how we could solve the problems and make the whole world better for all when we are trying to still add more problems to the list and figure out how to solve everything from the bottom of the list to the top. Because let's just say the list of problems to be solved has been in existence ever since the dawn of time. So ever since the first history class, there has been a list of problems to be solved. Food scarcity, shelter, clothes, society development, infrastructure, all these problems existed. And you assume that they take higher priority on the list since they were on the list first, right? But no. Even if they're higher on the list, that just makes it harder to get to them and harder to solve because we're working from the bottom up instead of the top down. And since we're forced to work from the bottom up instead of top down, like any professional cleaner would tell you, you gotta work from the top down. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to re-sweep what falls down, right? But since we are forced to work from the bottom down and figure out all these new manufactured problems before we can get back to addressing and solving the true problems that rot our society and corrupt and corrode and dissolve the rest of the world at hand, since we're first forced to work from the bottom up, the only way to get problems solved and make lives better for all is through male and female differences being and getting respected. Only male and female differences being and getting respected gets problems solved and better lives for all. There's no other way to do it. Because these gender roles weren't established by no patriarchy, but by the consistency of gender roles across all the religious faiths put together, born from the major specializations of the biological genders en masse and their differences. So the only way we can solve these problems and have better lives for all is by having these male and female differences respected, so we can move on to solving the next problem. Till then, that's all I got from the Devil's Advocate. Me, the Millennium Mailman, from the Devil's Advocate to you. That's all I got. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. Ow, my hand hurts. Yeah, I was supposed to be moving around today, but since people came home and interrupted my time, I can't walk around the house to clean up things at the same time as them walking around the house all upstairs. So I just had to take the L and stay right here in my regular spot, because there was no way I was gonna have loud noises in the background for most of the video. If there were noises that you can hear, I do apologize for the quality. I'm not redoing these videos. I am not. That's too much time eaten into that I could be doing other stuff. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. If you like what I had to say or how I said it, leave a like on the video. Comment down in the comment section down below. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and opinions, and beyond. You can reach out to me at MILLENIANmailmen@gmail.com. Or share the video for more exposure. Subscribe if you feel like it. And of course, you are always permitted the opportunity to dislike the video if you don't. But that's just me. Peace, love, happiness, and all the best of things to you. Bye.